on.
Yeah, see, our viewers just need to trust us that we're going to take their topic suggestions and probably think of them ahead of time.
Yeah, I mean, but I wouldn't trust us.
They really
You can
should
believe.
trust us.
Should they?
They really should.
Should they?
We're trustworthy individuals, Jay.
Is this like a trustworthy face?
It is. OctoKitty's always trustworthy. Right?
I think so.
Like,
right?
come on. We love OctoKitty.
Kitty.
So for those earlier in our show, Jay and I did go see Karate Kid last week. We thought about doing a full review. We didn't get around to it just because life. But we liked it, Jay. Like, it was good.
Yeah, I think it was on like the better side of Karate Kid movies. I don't know.
I
thought it was
laughed
a
out
fun-
loud at multiple points.
Yes.
They
Yes.
stayed away from some Karate Kid tropes that were kind of played out. They leaned into some that weren't. But I thought so it's still in theaters. I think people should go watch it. I want this movie to at least do okay.
Yes, that's the thing that I'm worried about because obviously we saw it opening weekend. When we were buying the tickets, like
Wasn't
the
hard.
movie theater looked pretty empty, and then I
It
don't
was.
know,
I would say it was medium when we finally got in there.
yeah,
It was medium.
What do
It's
you think,
about
like-
half full.
half full, really? Okay,
Yeah.
well, yeah.
You know, we had a very nice dinner. Like we took our spouses and we went to PF Chang's and had a nice dinner, and everybody hung out, and we had like fun adult time. And then Jay and his spouse came out to my place, and we talked about building a compound for the end of the world
Yeah,
because the world might end.
yes. Especially with the new war that's going on, which we'll get into,
We'll get
I
there
guess,
in
a
a
little
minute.
bit later.
Yeah, no,
But yeah.
that's a lot of fun though. Yeah, please chat. Make a point to see that one. I enjoyed it. And for an A-list, again, like an A-list run, like just buy our tickets, easy. One of our free movies of the week, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Also, so
Good.
you wanted to show this off, and I'm gonna
Yes.
go into this. This is pretty cool. I hadn't seen this particular thing yet.
Show it.
That is
Show
epic.
it.
I love that collect, dude.
Look, this is not fake. This is on the AMC website.
I might need this.
I'm
I
getting
normally
I'm
don't do
fucking
popcorn buckets. I normally don't
don't-
do it because they're cheapo, but you know what?
every now and then a popcorn bucket comes along and you have to fucking get it.
Yeah.
Period.
Jeez, that's so.
That is insane to me.
It looks
Like,
really good.
Does it say how
His
big it
eyes
is?
light up. His eyes light up.
I don't know. Does it give dimensions at all?
It does not. It does not. But I love that his eyes light up. I might need that. That's pretty. That's pretty
I just, like,
baller.
I want to sit there like holding it like this and just
Oh yeah, no, totally. Wait, let's go into that view real quick. Yeah, you got to hold it by the horns, and I just pour popcorn over your face.
Yes. I don't know. That's a solid popcorn bucket. I mean, come on.
It really
That's
is.
solid.
I
have
really
to
like
get
that. Holy smokes, that one is pretty good. But speaking of Fantastic Four, tickets went on sale.
Yep. Tickets are on sale.
Yeah, we got them.
Go get your tickets now.
And we got ours. We got ours for IMAX.
IMAX.
I'm still like holding out on the advanced screening through Prime for Superman, right? So I'm going to try and get us those, but at least we got our Fantastic Four stuff. And I'm surprised Superman tickets aren't already on sale.
They're not?
No, I went and looked yesterday after you got the Fantastic Four ones, because Jay texted me. He was like, Alex. And then he sent me the seat map, and I was like, just do it. Just do it. We did our advanced screening of Thunderbolts. We did that. So for Fantastic Four, we will probably do the same thing, is that although I like the fact that we just recorded it, we didn't do it live. That time it was because we were having technical issues. But I think this
Yeah.
time we'll do the same thing. We'll go see Fantastic Four, and we'll record our review and upload it that night. And then we'll upload our spoiler talk that night. So you get both episodes that Thursday.
There you go.
So you have them for the weekend. Yeah. No, I'm excited. I'm really excited for us to get those. Yeah, like we got tickets. That's what's important.
That's all that's important.
Fantastic Four. They did release that new like teaser this week when tickets went on sale. They gave us a little more of Johnny. We saw Franklin. Franklin Richards is in the new trailer. It's gonna be interesting. What are the release dates for those? So Superman release date is July 11th, and then Fantastic Four is July 25th. So there's a 2-week gap between those. So we're going to see Superman first, and then we'll see Fantastic Four. I'm sure we'll have lots to say about both films. But with that, we should probably actually do the thing that we're supposed to do, which is intro the show. Yay! I'll come to you live from our weird and slightly messy home studios. It's the Error Code Show for June 5th. We made it to June. Your place for news, pop culture, politics, gaming, and whatever the hell else we want to talk about. If you would like to support the show, go ahead and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, and hit that little bell so you get notifications when we put new stuff up. Comment, like, subscribe so we can beat the algorithm gods. We're almost to 1,000 subs. Come on, let's go. We need that 1,000. That's where stuff starts to really open up. We really appreciate everybody who's supported the show so far. Thank you very much. But with that, Jay, you got our first topic tonight, buddy.
I am at number 1 tonight. Okay. I love the Alien movies. I'm sorry. Yes, they can be cheesy. Yes, they can be stupid sometimes, but I have always loved the Alien movies. Ever since I was like 3 when I saw the first one.
They let you watch that as a 3-year-old?
Yeah. Why? What? Why would? What? Why wouldn't they?
Why not let your 3-year-old watch the gory horror movie about aliens eating people and things bursting out of people's chests? Let me think on that for a moment.
I'm from Florida, so
that's the answer for everything. You're from Florida.
Yeah. My dad had like a really weird thing about like I could watch the goriest like R-rated movies as a little kid, like elementary school, 2nd grade, Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy, I don't know, Alien, all of those movies as a 2nd grader. He thought that was perfectly fine. But he wouldn't let me watch like South Park and the Simpsons because he was mad that like the kids talked back to the parents and he thought I would pick up like bad habits from that. But I could watch like people's heads exploding. I don't know. But yeah, anyways, back to the topic. I love the Alien movies. And we did get our first full trailer for the FX's Alien Earth. This is going to be an 8-episode series. We do know a little bit about the plot. We do know the main actors. We do know some of the directors are going to play the trailer.
I'm going to show some stuff from the trailer so we don't get copyright struck.
He's just going to skip through it, I guess.
We get a bunch of stuff. So the aliens made it to Earth?
So let's dive into it.
Yeah.
So the plot is so evidently it revolves around this like deep space research vessel that's carrying 5 different life forms from the dark corners of space. And of course, what happens? The ship crash lands on Earth. This is a time frame when Earth is governed by 5 different corporations. One of them obviously being our favorite, Wayland. Of course, they're going to be there. And I really think from the trailer, these 5 different groups are going to be fighting to recover the items from the wreckage. There's also a lot of theories that the Predator is going to be a part of this series. Speculation. We don't see the Predator in the trailer. Um, Overall, watch the trailer. I'm getting like very classic Alien vibes from this. I'm excited about it. Some of the actors, so the biggest actor is Timothy Olyphant.
Oliphant. Yeah. I love
So
Timothy Oliphant.
he is from Justified. He is from the Book of Boba Fett. He is from a lot of stuff. Really great actor. Some of the directors are, to me, seem pretty solid. You have Donna Gonzalez, who is the director of the Fargo TV show, as well as Legions. You have Noah Hawley.
Noah Hawley is a
best-selling-
really well known.
Yeah, best-selling author, 20 years of experience, won Emmy, Golden Globe, PEN, Critics' Choice. I mean, very well. Yeah, celebrated writer. So I don't know. This to me, this looks good. I think this is solid.
I want to know more about the 3-horned goat. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I'm showing said 3-horned goat right now, and I want to know more about the 3-horned goat. Tell me about the goat.
You're gonna have to watch it.
I
You're gonna
might.
have to watch it.
So here's the thing, and I kind of fall under the category of somebody else who thought this. I thought the Alien franchise was dead, right? Like I thought they had run it into the ground. Okay. That being said, I saw Alien Romulus last year.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, never mind. They figured it out. They figured it out. And it was so good. And if this is the way that Disney is going to run their Alien franchise, what the hell? Then I think we're in good shape. I really do.
Yeah. I wasn't a huge fan of what was that?
I don't know.
Predator Primal.
Oh, okay.
That came out like 5 years ago or something.
Yeah.
Wasn't a huge fan of that, but no, recently, the movie that came out last year, huge fan, Alien movie. The trailer for the Predator movie that's coming out later this year, I believe, that looks pretty sick. So yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for this year. I'm excited for this TV show. August 12th, the first 2 episodes are dropping. I think it's a complete watch.
FX has got a good track record as a network. They did Shogun. They've done a lot of really good shows. Again, I think that they've got a good shot at this. So yeah, I'll probably check this out.
Go check it out.
Yeah. Anyway, did you guys see the Alien Earth trailer? Did you think it was good? Are you looking forward to the new moves in the Alien franchise? Let us know down in the comments below. And before we transition over to topic number 2, I will say, if you have anything that you didn't throw into the Discord and you would like to talk about as a topic tonight, go ahead and throw it in the chat right there. We'll be taking your topics. We're going to try and get to those at the end of the show. Because we've got some good topics tonight, but we can always use more. And if you're not part of the Discord, go join the Discord, which is in the links in the thing down below. Go join the Discord. You can throw us topics anytime you see them. We do look at that every week to help build out the rundown for the show. So thank you for that. Excuse me. Stop staring at Goat Trick and making him self-conscious. I'm sorry. I want to know more about the 3-horned goat. Leave me alone. I like goats. They're nice.
Wait, what? Do you really like goats?
Goats are cool, dude. They can eat all kinds of stuff. They're awesome animals. Goats and raccoons.
What?
Goats and raccoons.
Yes. Raccoons, totally.
Okay.
Goats are like, their eyes are weird, and they just straight up want to headbutt you like a good 40% of the time.
I want to see murder, okay?
You want to see murder?
Yes. Did you ever play Goat Simulator?
No,
Oh,
no.
go check that out on Steam.
Okay.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Goat Simulator and Untitled Goose Game. Okay. It is being an absolute wreck out menace as an animal, and it's awesome. Goat Simulator and Untitled Goose Game. I cannot recommend those two games enough. Oh my God, I had so much fun with those two. All right, let's move on to our next topic tonight. Square hit stuff hard when they remade one of their most popular JRPGs in Final Fantasy VII with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Final Fantasy VII Remake. And they were great successes. Now they're keeping going with that trend. They've announced their newest remaster. They are remaking, in my opinion, one of the greatest Final Fantasy games of all time in Final Fantasy Tactics. It's releasing in September, and it is a very ambitious remake of the original. I am crazy excited for this. I spent so much time in this game. So much time in this game. Like, legit, like, 90 plus hours. Like, when they announced this yesterday, I was like, oh, there went my winter. It's gone. Okay. Here's what I will say. This game is Game of Thrones before there was Game of Thrones. It is a Final Fantasy game, but it's all like political intrigue and these noble families and talking about the duty of nobility versus like how they push down the common folk. Like there's a populist message about how they use the common people, right? The animation is amazing, right? They're doing full voice acting this time. Again, I cannot recommend this thing enough. Also, for those of my people who are on the like accessibility side of it, where sometimes those like real active time battle, like those active battle things are hard to manage with the controllers, this is not one of those games. So if you have accessibility stuff where fighting games or active combat games are kind of outside of your realm, right? This one is a turn-based, very tactical game. You can take your time, right? Like doing all your moves. You're not running into stuff. There's a great progression system. And so I really love that about this game. And again, very Game of Thronesy. If you really like political intrigue and like a really deep story that has to do with nobility and religion and all this stuff, I can't recommend this game enough. I am super, super excited. Jay, we talked a little bit about this in the pre-show. You're not a huge Final Fantasy guy.
Yeah, I enjoy life. I want to be excited.
Oh,
and I
because
don't
you
want
never,
to
you
fall
never,
asleep.
you
Thank
never, you never play video games. No.
I'm kidding. So as a kid growing up, I always loved like the Final Fantasy like trailers. I had my best friend was super into Final Fantasy. I just could never get into like the turn-based games. Knights of the Old Republic was like the only game that I really got into
Mm-hmm.
that was like turn-based. I did play, or I did get into a little bit like Final Fantasy Online a couple years ago, which I did love, but I just needed like a group of people to play that with, and nobody was like that nerdy. So I was like, so I just kind of left. But no, not a huge Final Fantasy person. I don't know. They look cool, just not my thing.
I would recommend this game to you. Again, such a huge, like, again, very populist message, very deep story in this one. Again, like the dynamics between rich nobility and the common folk and how they're used and how they fit into the society. It's so deep. Like, it is one of my favorite Final Fantasy games of all time.
Wow.
Like,
Okay.
can't recommend it. And the fact that they've now gone full voice acted, the fact that they've improved all the animations and done all this stuff, so great. And again, those on the accessibility kind of side of it, such an easy game to play. Again, I've talked to a lot of people who struggle with certain games because they have various disabilities and stuff like that. Not going to affect you in playing this game. So, anyway, did you guys see the Final Fantasy Tactics trailer? I'm super excited. Let us know down in the comments below. Tell us if you're going to go get it. All right. Can I help me understand something turn-based difference from something like Jedi Fallen Order? So turn-based stops, right? Jedi Fallen Order is an action RPG, right? Meaning that you have to be consistently controlling the action. A turn-based RPG stops. So it'll go to character X, it stops, it brings up your menu. You can take your time to go through and select. And while you're working on your actions, the enemy is not killing you. Right? Yeah. The fact that they're redoing FF Tactics, just I'm over the moon about this one. I am almost more excited about this one than I was when they said they were remaking Final Fantasy VII. Because I love 7 too. And also, I was at prime age when these came out. I was like 14, 13 when these all came out. And so, like, it is deep, deep 90s nostalgia for me. It just is. All right. Again, if you guys want some stuff, drop into the chat for topics. But with that being said, I'm going to make a little note here. Because we're trying to make some improvements on our YouTube channel. Last week we went through and redid a bunch of descriptions that we're adding the chapter thingies on the live stream. So when it goes up, you can skip 2 specific chapters. So I'm making notes. This one's going to get us flamed. And I blame Jay. We're going to get lots of clicks. Flamed. Oh. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Fire. I love fire.
Okay. Here we go. Take it away, Jay.
All right. D&D. Dungeons and Dragons. So let's dive into what D&D is. So D&D is a game that was founded. No, I'm just kidding. What I want to talk about is something that I just found out today that I want to get your take on it since you ran a game store. And then also the people in chat, what you guys think about this.
And I wrote a role-playing game.
And yeah. Yes. So definitely I want to get your opinion on this. AI generated D&D campaigns. Can AI run your next D&D campaign better than a human DM? What are your thoughts on this?
So my first thought is just right off the top, no. An AI DM cannot run it better. But it all depends on what D&D is to you. Okay? I have been playing Dungeons and Dragons since I was 9 years old. That was approximately 32, 33 years ago.
32 years ago plus 9. Okay.
Yep. So it all depends on what it is. For those of us who've played so long, D&D now is not what D&D was even 20 years ago in the 3.0, 3.5 era of Dungeons and Dragons. And is this a direction that Wizards of the Coast is going? Absolutely. For multiple reasons, one of which is they have a DM shortage and they know it. There are not enough players willing to become Dungeon Masters, and it's actually really, really hard to be a DM. So do I think it will be better? Yeah. No, I don't. Do I think it's going to be more heavily adopted? Yes. Yes, I do. I really do think that the leaks that were coming out of Wizards were true when they were trying that Project Sigil. I think they were trying to get to the point where everybody's logged into their D&D Beyond on their 3D virtual tabletop that D&D provides for you for your monthly fee, and the AI is running the encounter for you. It's doing the stuff for you. There's already games out there that do something similar. There's a board game called Descent that does something similar with a computer, basically DM, that runs you through the whole game. So do I think that, again, do I think it's going to be better? Not necessarily, no. Do I think it's going to be more adopted? Absolutely.
I also agree. I don't think it could be better than a human DM, but what I do think is that it can help actually, I don't know, generate some ideas for a DM. Um, so some of the, I don't know, just kind of side quests, NPCs, storylines, some of that stuff, I think it can like help fill in the gaps a little bit quicker. So essentially, I think if you're like a new DM trying to get into like D&D, I think you could use AI to fill in the gaps and let you focus on the main storyline and you still be in control. I don't really foresee like AI being a complete DM as of right now.
I want to caveat this. I want to caveat this before the comment section comes and eats us for breakfast.
Oh,
Okay?
snap.
Neither one of us are advocating for major book publishers to use AI to generate gaming content that you would pay for. We are not advocating for the use of AI to replace game designers. Okay? Where we're talking about is, again, a DM. I'll say this as somebody who's written a role-playing game. You know what I hate doing? I hate naming shit. I really do. Naming things is the hardest thing in the world to do. Okay?
Yeah.
It's awful. Jay's laughing at me, but it's true. I hate naming things. If I had an AI tool to just, and I've used name generator, just give me names so I don't have to name shit or NPCs. The ability to instantly generate a tavern and things like that. Dungeon Alchemist, a lot of programs have been running like this for a long time. They're handy DM tools. Again, do I want to see them in mainline game design? Do I think Wizards should be using them to generate entire adventure paths? No. So don't come for us. Okay? I want to put that caveat before Jay gets into the upsides of AI for DMing. Okay? Again, this is AI for DMing, not for publishing, not for creation, not for selling. Okay, go ahead, Jay.
Yeah. So some strengths here: speed and flexibility, so that you can create content that you can then sell to your people and you don't have to write anything. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry, Alex. I had to just throw that in there. No, that's not. Oh, snap. That's gonna be taken out of context. Speed and flexibility. So being able to instantly generate some things, dungeon boss, tavern, stuff like that. I think it's great for kind of having infinite creativity here. So I think I don't know, myself, I always get down like a certain path, if you will. Like once I go down a path, I'm like kind of on that path. AI can come in and kind of really mix things up, kind of make things more exciting. I think this is a theory. I haven't actually used AI to do like a D&D campaign. Um, and yeah, I don't know. Like for new DMs, I think AI could be a very helpful tool to help them prep and reduce being overwhelmed because I did not start playing D&D when I was 9. I started like getting into D&D like in the past like 3 or 4 years, and I will say it is super overwhelming because you have all these books, you have all these rules. What do I need to buy? Do I need to buy all the books? Do I need to buy some of the books? Oh no, I bought the 2024 rule book edition. Do I need the 2025 rule book edition? Oh my god, there's a book on dragons. Do I need to buy the book on dragons? Oh, like here's a simple book that says like this is the only book that I need. I read it and it's just like talking about lands for the first like 30 freaking pages. It is overwhelming. It is completely overwhelming. If you did not grow up doing it. So I think AI could like help guide new DMs. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Alex?
Again, I think that there are some tools here, right? Absolutely. For naming things, for rapid generating a dungeon, rapid generating a tavern, rapid generating NPCs, especially when you got goofy player characters that are like, Hey, that guy sitting in the corner, what's his name? What's he doing? What's he look like? What species is he? What's he doing this? Stop it. Okay. The guy who's at the apple cart, what's his name? Okay. What's his backstory? Okay. There are times where I'm like, look, guys, like it's fucking too much. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the weaknesses. Misapplying mechanics or forgetting ongoing conditions. This is again why AI is not there yet. Yeah, because in order to get an AI to consistently be holding what's been happening the entire campaign in its memory banks is nearly impossible. And also because of that, because AI only can go back so far, there's going to be some issues with story coherence. And it may not do some of the emotional beats and some of the other stuff, the more not role playing of it all, and then railroading looping, which all kind of comes in that side, right? Somebody in the chat says, always buy the book on dragons, Jay. So just so you know, that's always the advice from chat. Always buy the books on dragons.
A little thing about me, I typically err on just buying all the books. All the books. Every book.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Nice. Yeah.
That might not be shelves full of roleplay books. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, God.
And again, because I'm going to say it again, we're not advocating using these as sales techniques or things that you should be doing to generate sellable material. Don't do that.
Now, what you could do is you could have ChatGPT or any AI create a business plan in which you would generate your D&D content and ask AI, how do I sell this? You could do that. Also kidding. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Again, I think this is the way that Wizards is going. I think that if they had the tech right now, that would be where they're at. Okay? It was very obvious with the 2025 release that that's what they were aiming at, and they didn't quite get there. Again, I don't know precisely why Project Sigil was shut down. I don't know why all this stuff's going on. I think they hit a technical barrier that made it unworkable for them. Because they were all hyped on it. They were like, look at this 3D VTT and all the da-da-da-da-da. And it's dead now. So, again, do I think that they're heading that direction? Abso-fucking-lutely I do. And again, they have a DM shortage. Because it's hard. It's not easy.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I don't know. So, take that for what it's worth.
Yeah. I do think maybe in like 5 years we could probably see like AI actually evolve to the point where it could be a really good DM, and I do think.
And this might be a topic. In fact, hang on. I'm gonna end us on this one because we could talk about this in the AI side because I'm curious about your thoughts on this. What do you think about AI in role playing games, specifically tabletop role playing games? Do you use it? Do you think it's a tool, or do you think it's just the devil? Let us know down in the comments below.
Devil panic. Here we go again.
Here we
D&D. Wow.
So
Circle.
I'm curious because you are an engineer and are more on the technical side than I am. You are in many ways, in that way, smarter than I am. So I have seen two takes on this very recently. This is within the last 14 days. One take is saying we are just at the nascent level of AI. It's going to continue exponentially evolving over the next 5 years, blah, 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 blah. I have seen another technical take that I'll be honest, don't fully understand, of people saying, nope, we did it. Like, until we get a new level of technical computing, AI has hit its limit for right now, right? Until we get to quantum computers are common, we're done. You can't evolve LLMs any more than we've evolved them right now. They've basically hit their cap. Are either of those technical takes true, or is it somewhere in the middle?
I think both are true, and I think they're talking about two different things. Um, one, I think from like a hardware level, your constraint currently, yes. 10 years from now, we're gonna have new tech and AI is gonna be completely different. On the actual like programming side, no. Um, I think we're gonna see that evolve throughout the years, and I think that's going to grow. So I think they're
The bigger
both
thing
correct.
is that is it going to be this same rapid level of growth we saw in the last 5 years, or has it kind of slowed down on the programming side? Because again, the take that I was reading was like they looked at DeepSeek, they looked at the latest version of ChatGPT, and they're like, look, from a programming side, there's not much else we can do right now until the hardware takes another big leap forward.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't believe that the programming is like not going to evolve. I think you're going to constantly have, because here's the thing about like AI. Um, you train your model a very specific way, and then you observe how it behaves, and then you go in and you make adjustments to it to make it perfect. I don't think we are at like perfect AI right now. So I think you do have a lot of computer science people working on tweaking AI. Now, is it going to grow how it's grown in the past 5 years? No, I think like it grew. We're at like it's still growing slightly, but you have to like also keep in mind that like hardware is constantly evolving and coming out with like newer and better things. And as newer hardware comes out, I mean like kind of like well, literally GPUs, like as bigger, better GPUs come out, um, that's going to change like the AI kind of market, the whole kind of technology behind everything. Um, I don't know. There's also a lot of different, there's not like one, like, I want to study AI, right? There's not like one like methodology. There's a lot of different methodologies. I worked on machine learning,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't even like me myself. I don't consider that AI. A lot of people do. I don't. Um, and then you have like deep learning. You have different subsets that I think is more true AI. Um, so I don't know. Like I don't think it's done growing. Yes, I do believe tech or like hardware is going to constantly evolve, and when new hardware comes out, that's going to change AI. But I don't think like we're perfect with AI right now.
No, I don't think we're perfect. Again, it was more of an interesting idea of again one take was the growth curve. Like, it's not that it's going to stop evolving, but that the growth curve, we saw this such rapid growth in AI, this kind of a curve. And now it's going to slow down for a while. Like, we're not going to see much movement in the next 5 to 10 years until there's another major technical hardware innovation that pushes AI to that next step. And that we're kind of stuck for right now, besides incremental improvement.
Yeah. I think we always think that until you have some crazy guy that comes out and is like, "Oh, I came out with like a new, I don't know, methodology of AI that called, Octo Kitty, and it uses XYZ. That's completely different."
Octo Kitty's
I
right
don't know.
there. Look at Octo Kitty.
But yeah, I I don't know. Also, like what we're using AI for is constantly changing. It's growing. It's going into different areas that AI hasn't gone before. Um, I will say, like, one of my biggest pet peeves is like people that I work with. Not going to name names, but you know who you are.
I don't
They're
even work there and I know who they are.
like, um, they like to throw AI on everything. Like they just stamp AI on everything. They're
Oh,
like,
I got a good one for this.
they're just like, "Oh, hey, you know what? Like, I would love." I don't know, I would love AI to take this data and put it into Excel. And I'm like, that's a Python script. You don't need AI. Like you can just write a very simple Python script. Like a high schooler could do it, not AI. But people, that's like the hot word right now is like AI. So they're just stamping AI like literally on anything that has to do with technology at all.
So the largest company in my industry is in the process of rolling out a new product. It's a new AI product. And their goal is to replace 90% of their operations management staff with AI. Right? And they're like, AI can do it. Now, in my industry, the commodity that we have, it's staffing and people. It's people. Right? So they think the AI is going to fix it and let them downsize their operations staff by 90%.
Oh, wow. That's...
Here's the problem. That works if you're building widgets, maybe. Or if you're, running an assembly line. I believe an AI could run an assembly line. The problem when you're dealing with people, where the thing that you're selling is the ability to staff people and to put people places. The AI does not take into account the single mom that has childcare issues that's got to go home and grab her kids. The AI does not take into account trends in sickness and all this other stuff that happens. The AI does not take into account market conditions and ways to convince people to do things, right? That initially they may be reticent to do, and if they get a text message, they'll say no. But if somebody called them and actually asked them please and said, hey, this is what's going on, then they're going to do it, right? I am thrilled that they are trying this because I had this long meeting the other day and I was like, it's going to flop. It's going to die because AI is still not people.
Yeah.
And at its core, it does not understand the human condition. It has no empathy. It has no EQ. It has none of that. And I cannot wait because they're like, well, we'll just jam AI into it. And I'm like, oh, you heard the word AI, CEO, and you think that that's going to fix all your problems. And I can't wait for this to blow up in your face.
Yeah, we
just do it, blow up.
Where I work at, with the engineering team, we call that. Yeah, I'm just gonna say we call those people MBA assholes. Because they're very business based. They are looking at a spreadsheet with numbers on it and they go, perfect. That can solve everything. Let's go do that. And your engineers are like, that's not how that works. But because they have an MBA, they know better about technology than you do. And you have to go down this really weird kind of path of trying to make the impossible happen. And yeah, it's always kind of, I don't know. It's always rewarding when it doesn't work out.
It really is.
In a weird way.
It really is. Yeah. So, I don't know. Anyway, that was a weird side tangent topic, but I like weird side tangent topics. They're great. Great. Thank you for listening to that. All right. I want to check one thing real quick.
Check the thing. Oh.
No, we're doing quick topics first.
Okay.
We're gonna do quick topics first before we get into the shenanigans.
I thought you literally were going to Twitter to be like, let me catch up real quick on the recent stuff.
Nope.
Okay.
Leaving that alone for right now. Don't worry. Yes, chat, we're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it. It's in the rundown. Jay put it in the quick hits at the start of the show, and I was like, nope, this needs a whole topic now. It needs one now. We can't do it.
It just kind of kept going.
It kept going and going like the fucking Energizer Bunny. I will say before we jump into that, so we've been trying to run promotions on our YouTube streams and on our YouTube videos. God. And Google/YouTube keeps declining it for two reasons. One is shocking content. right? Because apparently our content is not very family friendly, so they don't want us to promote it. And two, because we do a lot of election talk, and that's banned for promotion on YouTube. You cannot do it.
I really don't understand this. Like the shocking content, I didn't understand. Because on a different podcast that I'm on, very adult, no problem. And
Yep.
we talk about adult things, let's
Go
just
go
say.
check out that podcast. It's Unnatural to Some. It's a great podcast.
And yeah, YouTube is like, oh yeah, that's fine. That's not shocking at all. Like they're talking about, I don't know, BDSM or pegging. Yeah, that's fine. Promote that. And then our content. What was one of the videos? It was like the crosswalk hack, right?
The crosswalk hack got denied. The social media sites as places got denied. Our last two streams got denied. Yeah, a lot of it got denied.
I think you might be like shadow banned on this YouTube account or something weird. I don't know.
Maybe, man. I don't know. I do think it's funny that, again, we've tried to do the whole show and a couple individual topics. Now, we have gotten some promotions through. Like our one about reboots from a couple of weeks ago. YouTube was like, that's great. You can do that. Right? And you're like, cool. Thanks, YouTube. So, all that to say, help us defeat the algorithm gods. Okay. Moving right along. We got our quick topics for the week. Jay, you and I both play a little bit of Magic the Gathering, right? We're not like crazy pro players or anything like that. Yeah. But we do enjoy some Magic the Gathering. Well, we talked about Final Fantasy earlier tonight. Tomorrow, the Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering set drops, and it has been a scalping bloodbath since it was announced. Like, it has been absolute craziness. Let me see. So right now, play booster boxes before you get to scalping levels are running anywhere between 160 and 190. Collector booster box, $679. $679 for a collector booster box. Right? I went by my FLGS earlier today, the one that I don't, because I no longer own one, but I frequent one. Collector booster box is $444, $478, $730, $374 for 6 packs, $729. It is absolutely insane. I had to get the hookup because they were out of pre-order. Fortunately, the owner guy and me are simpatico because I'm also a former FLGS owner. And so he was like, his clerk was like, we're out of pre-orders, right? The pre-order for the play booster boxes. And he was like, we'll do one more. And so he let me pre-order my play booster box for tomorrow.
Nice.
So are you in any way looking forward to this set, or is this just one of those ones where you're like, what's wrong with you people?
Yeah, it's not something. This would be something where I would like really look at like the cards, right, and see what would fit in my deck, and then maybe like order one off of like
singles.
TCG. Yeah, just like a single, like not. I wouldn't. Oh God.
Oh, speaking of TCG player, we'll get to that in a second. There's been some stuff this week with TCG player. Oh, you're going to be upset, Jay. Let's get to that in a minute. Actually, no, we'll jump to that right now.
Is it the tariffs?
No, it's union busting. It is union busting. So a few years ago, eBay bought TCG player, and right now they are trying to bust the union. So they are laying off 220 workers in Syracuse who work for TCG player and moving their operations to Lexington, Kentucky.
Why there?
Easier to bust unions in Kentucky than New York. So, speaking of TCG player, how do you feel about TCG player busting unions?
I mean, one, I didn't know they were owned by eBay. Kind of
Yeah.
makes a little bit more sense now. But isn't that like illegal?
They
Like,
filed an unfair labor practice at the National Labor Relations Board, but please remember who the president is right now and who sets the National Labor Relations Board and how he
oh,
feels about unions.
oh God. Okay. Uh, well, that's just shitty, guys.
Guess we're all buying from Card Kingdom from now on. No more TCG player for us.
Uh, okay.
I just made
Cool.
Chase sad.
Just come on. I'm not gonna say it. We got like 6 more months in this year. I'm not gonna say it.
We're
Not
gonna
gonna jinx them.
We're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. All right, next quick topic. In spite of claiming otherwise, because a few months ago they said they were done, one of the best games of the last decade, in my opinion, Cyberpunk 2077, is getting another patch after CD Projekt Red was like, no, we're done. So today I think, they announced, nope, I got one more in me. As their advertisement says, we're not done yet. They are doing another update to Cyberpunk 2077 later this month. I'm curious what they're going to put out. Did you play Cyberpunk 2077?
Oh, yes, I did.
Yes.
I love that game.
I absolutely love that game. Are you excited to hear that they're putting out another patch?
Yep.
I thought they were done. They were like, we're done. It's complete.
Yeah. I think they are kind of notorious for this now, though.
They did it with Witcher 3 a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, even the anime that really kind of
Edge Runners. Yep.
They were like, no, this is a one and done. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, then they came back and announced that they are going to do like another anime. Different cast, I think.
I love when they added the Edge Runners equipment to the game after the fact, where you can go out and get all the jacket and the shotgun and everything. I was so excited. Will the patch be free? Yes. All of CD Projekt Red's patches are free. They just repatched the game. They only did one paid DLC. It was the like Liberty something one, and it was actually really good. It was worth the $20. It was a lot more content. Absolutely love that game. Super excited to hear that they're not done developing for it. I would tell you how many hours my GOG tells me I've put into Cyberpunk 2077, but it makes me sad.
Yeah. Yeah, Edge Runners is getting a second season. Like I said, completely different storyline, cast, everything.
Great. There's so much you can do with that system.
Yes. Hey, Star Wars, look. This is how you do it. Stop with the same storyline.
Yes. Move on.
But yeah, no, at this point, if this group is like, ever, no, we're not going to do this anymore, I'm just going to immediately call bullshit.
Yep. So good job, CD Projekt Red. Jay and I are both excited. Yes. You're releasing it later this month, so that I can kill my summer before Final Fantasy Tactics comes out in the fall and kills my winter. So obviously I'm not leaving the house for the next 9 months. So there you go. There was our quick topics for today. Any thoughts on those? Leave a comment down in the session below. I have the happiest sad face. What am I sad about? I'm not.
Oh, yeah. You said that you were sad.
About what?
Wait, no.
Summer's overrated. I disagree. I live in the Pacific Northwest. The summers here are the greatest summers in the country.
Now,
Jay, as a Florida man, back me up.
Oh God, there's two things, Alex. There's just two things. One, the water needs to be a little bit warmer. up here. Like, oh my God. It's very shocking. Second, we really need like a beach, not like a pebble beach, but like a beach. You add those two things, warm water without hurricanes, little note there, and then a sand beach.
Okay.
And I would say like, yes, this would
Okay.
be the best place for summers.
Beach. Have you been to Alki Beach?
Alki Beach. I think, hang on, I'm gonna have to like look up a photo of this. Maybe it sounds familiar.
So Alki is a beach. Okay. There is sand.
Sand. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Um, okay, I have been. Yes, so this is the place where I used to accidentally kept going to the Microsoft employee beach parties that were like ran by just employees. They weren't like official Microsoft. They just a bunch of engineers would just happen to go to the beach at the same exact time I went to the beach. Very weird.
That is a beach.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have the one. Now
You have the one.
we have the
beach.
one.
Nice.
Now, the other thing I will point out, we do not have the crazy humidity, nor is it 110 degrees in Washington State. Our summers are way less oppressive than Florida or anywhere in the South. I've lived there. I know. And I'll agree with you on the water. If the water was like 10 degrees warmer, we'd be set.
Yep, 100%. God, I would love it. But yeah, I will say, so you talking about like gaming all winter, that makes 100% sense to me. Like, because that's all you really want to do. You know, you don't have the sun, you want to stay inside. It's what you guys call rain. I think it's very cute that you guys say that it's raining. And then yeah, like you just want to stay home and play video games. It's like the best weather to play video games because you're not missing.
Look, man, it is rain. What happens in Florida? Okay, no. Okay, because I've been there. Okay, and I remember my first time in Florida. I was in Orlando, and you could have set your fucking watch by that shit. Every day, it was the middle of August. Every day, 3:05 p.m. Bloosh for like 40 minutes, right? And it wasn't rain. That's not rain, okay? That, my friend, is what happens when the ocean just goes up in the air and falls down, okay? That is not rain. The drops are like this big, okay?
Yeah.
They're these massive, like, drown you in the face drops, right? That, like you can feel them hit you, right?
Yeah.
Like a fist, okay? That is not what Florida has. Is not rain. It is Florida precipitation, but I wouldn't call it rain. And I think there's still a weatherman in the chat on YouTube. Okay.
Oh,
okay. He was here last week. We will call on our resident weatherman to tell us whether that is rain. Okay. Now, I will grant you, up here, it does not rain. It drizzles and it mists. Right? Yeah. But that shit down in Florida is not. And again, every day, middle of August, sun, bloosh. Then the sun comes back out, and now the humidity is 9,000%. Because all of that rain is now evaporating instantly.
Yep. It's been referred to as like kind of like washing your crabs before you like steam them.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually talking about this a couple of weeks ago to somebody at work because they've never been outside of the Pacific Northwest.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, Florida is like, you get the same amount of rain you do in Washington in a 24-hour period.
But you get it in 4 minutes.
Florida is like 10 minutes and it's same amount of rain, but like you like if you're just like running out to your car, like you're gonna be sopping wet like to your underwear.
Our resident weatherman says Northwest has aggressive drizzle Florida has mythological calamities.
There you go. Yeah, that sounds. Yeah.
Sounds about right. Yeah, because again, Florida doesn't have normal rain. So anybody who's like, it rains in Florida, no, that's not fucking rain. That's somebody dumping buckets of water over the state. And then it evaporating instantly. Seriously, like it's gone in an hour. You would not know that it rained.
Florida's like, oh my gosh, it's flooding. And then you're like, maybe 15 minutes later, you're like, oh my gosh, it needs to rain because like we're in this crazy drought. The crops need water.
Again, our resident weather person on YouTube says Florida is setting Mother Nature to hard mode.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Are you going to defend Florida now?
Oh gosh, that sounds so bad. No, but what I will say, you can disagree with me all you want. I would much rather have hurricanes over earthquakes. Earthquake,
oh
like
no.
You guys up here are like, oh, earthquakes are nothing. That the earth is shaking underneath you. You have no warning. A hurricane, you have a warning. I mean, we ignore the warning, but you have the warning. You have the heads up. Earthquakes are like, we could be sitting here right now. All of a sudden, the earth is going to open up and we're all going to fall in it.
Okay, you're over-exaggerating that, for one. For two, an earthquake lasts like 15 seconds. A hurricane lasts 4 days. Okay? Our disasters are like, hey, here's your disaster. Done. And then it's over. It's over. And you know whether you've lived or died. Okay? I'm not going to drown in an earthquake. Okay? My house is not going to get picked up and washed away into the sea in an earthquake. Okay? No, in a hurricane, in a hurricane, you watch the water, that storm surge rise up on your house and be like, is it going to get high enough to drown me? I don't know, but it's going to take me 8 hours to find out.
All right, storm surge doesn't hit every house, okay? I lived less than a mile from the beach. We did not get hit with storm surge. It's kind of like living in a flood zone, right? Like we were looking at like compound locations last week. You look at flood zones. If you are on the coast, yeah, like actually on waterfront property, yes. Unless you are like built up on like some sort of like little sand cliff, you're probably gonna have to worry about storm surge. But I would say like 90% of the time of houses in Florida, you don't have to worry about storm surge.
YouTube chat says hurricane party with a couch on the front porch just hits different.
So, yes.
What's your best hurricane party story? Did you ever have a hurricane party?
Yes. I don't know if I have like a best hurricane party because like most of the time, here's what's happened. Like, here's what actually happens. Hurricane's coming. It's not like a very strong hurricane. It's like a category 1, category 2. Okay. College is going to be closed, or you're probably not going to have to go to work for a couple of days. Woo, party. So let's go get beer. And then the power goes out. And then you're just drinking beer. And then you just get bored. And then a couple of days later, you really want the electricity to come back. I have had friends though that have done it a lot better than I have. What they do is they pack their freezer full of like steaks and ribs and a bunch of fucking meats to grill. And then when the power goes out, they pull out the meat and then they grill them on like a propane tank grill. And they're drinking beer and then they're like having ribs and burgers, and that is like really cool. I don't really have like an epic hurricane party story. The only thing I can say is at FSU, Florida State, there was a hurricane that was coming. It It was a category 1. We had a professor that had just relocated to America from India. Um, First hurricane. He asked the class, like, hey, first hurricane, should I be worried? We all laughed. We told him, like, no, like, we're going to go buy beer. Like, this is nothing. This isn't a real hurricane. Um, Cut to. Hurricane turned out to be a category 5. By the time it actually made landfall. And
Dude, that's some mean ass shit.
that is serious.
That's mean. That's mean you did that to your professor.
Yeah. So we came back once the school reopened. We came back. The professor like looks and he goes, "You guys are crazy." And we're like, "What?" And he was like, "That was like the most insane thing I've ever lived through." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." He did not evacuate. The majority of us did. We did evacuate. He stayed, and I think like the roof came off of his house. His house flooded. It was really, really bad. And I was like, "Oh no." But I will say, if you have a PhD in engineering, you probably should not take advice from engineering students. You're smarter than they are, in theory. Don't listen to us. Come on now.
That's what happens. That's what
Earthquakes
happens.
freak me out. I've grown up with hurricanes.
I've grown up with earthquakes. They don't bother me at all. The funniest earthquake story I have. So, I must have been 10 or 11 based on where we were living at the time, right? Now the fact is, your cats will know the earthquake is coming before you do. Okay, so my cat Snowball, she knew the earthquake was coming, right? She could feel it, so she was hiding. So keep in mind, this would have been 1993, 1994, right? So this is the early 90s. So we got one of those like tall, like beigey wood TV stands with the big TV, right, in the corner of the
Yeah.
living room. So the cat is behind the TV stand, hiding like a motherfucker. My sister is trying to get the cat out from behind the TV stand, and the cat's like, hell no, I'm hiding behind this TV stand. I am watching a kung fu movie on our like 24-inch Magnavox TV, right? And legit, like, you know how when you're little, I was like 10, you're like imitating the moves,
Yeah.
right? Literally, I go to do this like sidekick imitating the kung fu movie, and the fucking earthquake hit. Like, and I literally just face planted. Like, karate sidekick. Oh no. Whole fucking house shakes. Thud. What?
Wow.
I messed that up. I messed it up. Earthquakes are really fun. They're a blast. I love them. Again, they're done. I'm like, oh, cool, earthquake. Awesome. They really just don't bother me.
I don't know. I saw, what was that movie?
Have you been in a big earthquake since you've been here?
No. No.
Have you been in any? We haven't had any major one. I know we've had a few, but we haven't had any major ones.
So there was like one, I think last year, it was last year. And
You felt
like
it.
we were sitting watching TV and there was like a shake. And I think like I heard like, I don't know, like a glass something like rattle. And I like, it was really funny because I thought it was on the TV and I like paused the TV and I like stopped and I was like, what is that? And I like at first, so my mind jumped to like someone with like a loud car system driving down the street, maybe having a wreck somewhere. I'm like, what was that? And then like 10 minutes later, like a coworker was like, oh, I just felt an earthquake. And I was like, oh, cool.
See, you need a good one like the Nisqually quake, which is like a 6.8.
6.8. Isn't that like serious? What?
Yeah.
Isn't that like the earthquake that opened up in the movie This Is the End and
No,
swallowed
no,
Channing Tatum? Like
no.
what?
You need to get like a good 6. Like Jay needs to get like a good 5.5 or a 6,
Mm.
right? That I think you need to have one of those. Then you'll feel better. All right. It's 9:15. Let's move on to our final topic for the night. This one is fucking hilarious.
God. I am on his Twitter right now. I'm just like looking.
Oh my god, it's gonna be funny. All right, are we ready to go? Let's rock and roll. We've been staying away from Elon and Trump on the show for the last few weeks because we'd gotten kind of bored with the topic. But the meltdown over the last 12 hours has been so epic that Jay was going to do it as a quick. I couldn't keep it off the rundown. So let's go through this. So obviously, we know that Elon announced like a week ago that he was going to be leaving his position as a special government employee, right? Which is fine. We knew that was going to happen eventually.
Yeah.
And then over the weekend, he was interviewed by CBS Sunday Morning. And that interview got a little tense when they wanted to talk to him about Doge. And he was like, I'm here to talk about spaceships, right? In the last, let's see here, 12 hours, it has gotten shenanigans. He is coming after the big, beautiful bill. It's so big and beautiful. Why?
Yeah.
Because it starts with his EV solar incentive cuts happening, right? Okay. And it's basically been a meltdown since then. Here's Elon's Twitter feed. Here's Trump saying, I'm very disappointed in Elon. And this is another thing that got this going, right? I'm very disappointed in Elon. He knew about the big, beautiful bill. He was fine. And now he's mad because we cut his EV mandate. And Elon's like, bullshit, right? And we keep going, right? And he is just all over it. Just on a tear. Just pissed, right? Big ugly spending bill, EV subsidies. It gets funnier. Where is it? I'm waiting for the one because this is the key. Where'd it go? Where is it? I'm looking for something specific here, and here we go. Time to drop the really big bomb. Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. This is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. Holy crap.
Yep.
They are on each other. Let's look at what Trump's been posting on Truth Social. Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody wanted, that he knew for months I was going to do, and he went crazy. The easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's government contracts. I was surprised Biden didn't do it. I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done so before. This is the greatest bill ever presented to Congress. And again, the Epstein one is like the coup de grace, right? Mark this post for the future. The truth will come out, right? He's responding to Trump here, talking about canceling his contracts. Holy crap. Like, you and I talked about this months ago, right?
Yep.
We expected them to flame out. You and I had months ago said, it's gonna end badly. March, April, like, it's gonna go weird. Oh, wait. They made it all the way to June.
They did, yeah.
They made it all the way to June. But I did not expect a meltdown of this level. Did you?
I mean, I thought it would be bad. It's not, to me, it's not like bad yet. Like right now, they're just like two children.
He said
like,
Trump's in the Epstein files.
Yeah.
He said Trump's a pedo, and that's why they're not releasing the files.
And I don't know who it was, but somebody was asking Donald Trump to look into like Elon's immigration status and deport him.
Because he came over and did shit illegally. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
But how's the Tesla stock doing?
Oh, how is that?
14% down today. So the shareholders are not liking this very much.
I'm waiting until it gets to $10 a share, and I'm gonna buy 3.
um, Again, I'm surprised the meltdown was to this level. Like, this is shenanigans. And I don't think they're done yet. I think tomorrow's going to be worse.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think this is like, let me see if I can put it into like the correct terms here. I think this is like 1.5 earthquake. Tomorrow projecting like 3.5 magnitude. I don't know. I think it's gonna get. I think this is gonna get worse throughout the weekend. Honestly,
Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. No more EV man. Oh my god. What other bombshells do we think are drop? Is what chat is saying. I don't know. The thing is there is no way to tell. Based on Elon's been in Trump orbit since basically July of last year, right? So about a year he's been in Trump world, right? And then right after the election, he was basically living at Mar-a-Lago until the inauguration, right? And advising on all this crap and doing all this shit. Who knows? Who knows what is going to come out? YouTube chat, tired, ketamine Thursday, wired, ivermectin Friday. Oh, please. You know what, though? On the bombshells to drop, I want the call to come from inside the house. I want Elon to be the one who spends $250 million getting this guy elected, and then is the one that drops the bombshell that forces everybody to go, fuck it, we got to get rid of this guy. Jay, I broke Jay.
it's just like, I don't know. There's like setting money on fire, right? And then there's like
What Elon did?
setting. Yeah, like he I mean he's admitted to this. He admitted that he should not have been involved with politics, and he has stated that he's not going to like donate money to
Until
anymore.
today. Today he was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to spend money to get rid of all these guys that I just got elected.
Yeah. But
oh, I'm so happy.
He has to be like, I don't know.
It couldn't happen to two better people.
Yeah, this is great. I mean, you know what they should do? They should kiss and make up, and then take a rocket to Mars for their honeymoon and just stay there. That would be great. Just leave and not come back.
It would be great. It's not going to happen.
It won't.
So actually, let's do the prediction there. Do we think this is a temporary spat, or do you think that Elon has pissed the Donald off enough where Donald's like, fuck this guy?
Yeah, I think he's quacking. He's very mad. You're gonna see probably Trump come out with like really harsh things against like EV vehicles. He's going to just run Tesla's name through. I fully imagine like SpaceX's like actual shit to get canceled, their governmental contracts to get canceled. Yeah, we're gonna see everything that's within the power of the little duck, and then probably things that he shouldn't have power over, but he's gonna do it anyways.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna cut this into a different segment for the purposes of YouTube later, but this actually goes deeper. This actually goes deeper, and I want to know if you'd heard about this rumor. So a rumor had been going around about Elon before he left the White House. So we're all aware of Donald Trump's evil fucking minion guy, Stephen Miller, right? The guy who's you know, the bald-headed dude. Donald Trump is the greatest. We need to get rid of everybody who's illegal, blah, blah, blah. So something interesting happened within the last week, and I've been waiting for more confirmation. But you know what? I feel like being a jerk, right? And I think the Daily Beast has basically confirmed it, kinda. Um, so Stephen Miller, again, who we all know as that guy, right? Towhead, who, you know, is running the immigration policy for Donald Trump. Well, what's interesting is a couple of things. Stephen Miller's wife just went to work for Elon full time as his communication director for Elon, not Trump, for Elon. And she's staying with Elon. Now, the rumor was that there may have been some threesome thruppling
Oh my God.
with Stephen Miller, his wife, and Elon, who we know wants to impregnate everyone in the world.
See,
I would
Alex,
like to
this is the
point out
shocking content
Stephen
right here.
Miller melts down as Musk exits with his wife and an attack on Trump. This could not happen to better people. Oh, I broke Jay. I broke him.
Okay. So I think it's fair to say we do not like either Elon nor Trump.
Right.
How would you feel if we woke up tomorrow and we have learned that Trump deported Elon and his family?
Oh, I would
Because
laugh. I would
Because on
laugh.
one hand, it's really funny. On a second hand, like a dystopian side, if he can do it to Elon, he can do it to
Oh,
fucking
he absolutely can. And it's frightening. Because it's Elon, I'm laughing. So yeah, Katie Miller, who's Stephen Miller's wife, left her post, by the way, working at the White House, to go work for Musk full time. Right? While her husband stays at the White House. Right? Yeah. There's unsubstantiated and unconfirmed rumors that Musk and the Millers were part of a consensual throuple that apparently soured when Katie left her White House position and turned her ex-banner into a picture of a SpaceX rocket.
Yeah. I mean,
I am living for this story. With the Trump beef and the Stephen Miller beef. And you know what? Stephen Miller is such an asshole. I honestly hope Musk has stole his wife. For all the anti-immigrant racist shit that Stephen Miller has said since Trump 1.0, I'm kind of okay with this. Again, I'm with you. I would like them all to go to Mars without us. Yeah. But how can you not laugh at this story?
The whole... Remember when like politics used to actually get shit done and like just focused on fucking politics, and like we freaked out when, I don't know, like someone got a blowjob in the fucking White House, right? Like that was like, oh, that's unacceptable. And like this is like the world that we live in today. Like this is like, I swear I died or I'm in a coma. Like none of this shit has to be real. Like this is like a reality TV show. Like this is Jersey Shore, whatever. There's no way in hell this is our actual reality.
Oh yeah, and now Musk is all criticizing the big beautiful bill, and Stephen Miller has to be out there defending it. He's sitting here beefing with Musk while his wife is working for Musk and leaving her White House post, and now they're all in this big like drama thing. And that's why I said, like, when you asked in the last segment, what is the next bombshell that's going to drop? I don't know, but I want to find out.
Yeah, I mean, oh, God.
And for those of you in the chat saying you're going to have nightmares, it's not like I was describing this in, like, erotic detail, Okay, I wouldn't do that to you because that's a disturbing image.
Oh, snap.
As Jay goes looking for an image, because Rule
No,
34, ladies and gentlemen, Rule 34, there is corn of it.
I'm not looking for an image, but I might ask ChatGPT to write a romance novel about this.
Here's the thing. You know, if this actually happened, there is video. These people are arrogant enough, it's wacko enough that they took video. They did.
Yeah,
They did. There is video of this somewhere. I just fucked Jay up again.
I mean, yeah, you're right. There's 100. There is video.
Anyway, what do you all think? Was there a throuple in the White House? Did Stephen Miller's wife just leave him for Elon? And how many women can Elon get into his pants? Like, how does this keep happening? Let us know what you think down in the comments below.
Money might not buy you happiness, but money can get you 34 children.
Oh my god. All right, last chance chat before we jump off for the night. If there's anything else you guys want to say, stop saying thruple.
Katie Miller.
If there's anything else you guys want to talk about tonight, let us know. We've gotten through our planned topics for the evening.
Write a romance.
Oh no, he's doing it. No, wait till after the show, then write your romance novel.
About Stephen Miller, his wife.
Past 3 Mile on a pasture. Best lightsaber company. I'll be honest, I don't know. There's some friends of mine swear by, but I don't have any. Let them cook.
It says it crosses ethical and privacy boundaries.
Aww.
They won't do it.
Poor ChatGPT. Oops, typo. Yeah, if you guys have any topics you want to chat about real quick, we can jump into those. I'll be honest, I don't do a lot of collecting of like the weapons. I have this little like light up LED lightsaber up here, but it's more decoration. It's like a lamp. I don't do a lot of like fantasy weapon collecting. It's not really my thing. So I do need to see Life of Chuck. I got to figure out when I'm going to go see that. Because it's getting some good reviews.
Oh, God.
I did hear about the Minneapolis raid. I mean, I can straight up say I have strong opposition to militarization of police. I don't like what they're doing in Minneapolis. It's going to keep getting worse until ICE is going to have to. And I know we're all very upset with ICE right now and what ICE is doing. There's certain lines they haven't crossed, right? They haven't opened fire on the crowd who's trying to stop them. ICE is going to have to cross some pretty definitive lines before this all ends. And that sucks, but that's what's going to have to happen. There was a big ICE raid in Minneapolis. I mean, they raided a restaurant. It's just bad. It's bad. It's really, really bad. I wish I could say more about it. But again, ICE is being very careful to not cross certain lines. I saw some crazy lines for the Switch 2. People were excited. This actually feels like old school midnight release gaming. Right? Like people were straight up lining up for the Switch 2. You gonna grab you a Switch 2, Jay?
No, I sadly I grew up as a Nintendo kid. I had like the original Nintendo,
Hmm.
Super Nintendo, yeah, GameCube, Game Boy. Like I switched over when the Xbox was launched because I was in like the perfect age group of Xbox. Like I think I was like a freshman in high school when the Xbox came out or something.
That makes sense.
So it
Hmm.
was like a kind of a changing of the guards, right? Like
Hmm.
I wanted something more adult, like first person shooter. Um, so then I went to Xbox, um, and then got an Xbox 360, and but then eventually built a PC and I play PC games. But long story short, I have honestly maybe for like the past 10 years I've missed Nintendo because I loved like Legend of Zelda games,
Those
Metroid.
Breath of, I'm surprised you didn't play Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, but it's just like one of those things where it's like I can't have like every console. I can't keep up to date
You
with like
can
my
come over to my house. They're all here.
Oh, there you go. Hey, if we build a compound, this will
Yeah,
be perfect.
I have a PS5, an Xbox Series X. There's 2 Nintendo Switches. I have a SNES Classic. I have a Sega Genesis over there. Um,
No.
I have 2 PCs. Yeah, it's bonked. Consoles peaked with the Super Nintendo. I disagree. I will disagree with that. If you really want to get into the like, we can have this discussion, and I will build it as a topic. And Jay and I can argue about this for an hour.
What?
Okay, consoles peaked with the PS2, and I will bode no argument otherwise.
Um, yeah, I think that would be a separate topic.
We could do that as a whole topic.
Yeah. I will say, Dog Dad, when I said sadly grew up with Nintendo, what I meant was I sadly grew up with Nintendo, very loyal to Nintendo,
Mm-hmm.
and then I betrayed them and went to Xbox.
Final,
Um,
Final Fantasy X Blitzball on the PS2. Yeah, again, the consoles peaked with the PS2.
uh, d-
Consoles.
uh,
Here's what I'm
I
gonna do for you,
I
chat.
don't agree with that. I
Here's what I'm
don't
gonna
agree.
do for you. I'm gonna show you this, and I know I show it occasionally, right? But I'm gonna do this so you guys can see it close, right? I'm gonna go into browser view. All right, where did the console generations peak?
Oh my god. You can't do that.
I can. It's right there. So
No, because the algorithm is going to tell you what you want to know.
no, because
Oh,
I
okay, you typed it into this. Okay, never
yeah
mind. I
I
thought you were like literally
no
typing
no
into
I
Google.
put it. Look, I put it in
Okay,
our rundown document for next week.
yeah. Okay,
Right.
yeah.
So
That's
there,
good.
it's in the rundown for next week. We will do it next week. Um, I will give you both where the console generation peaked and the most underrated console of all time. Okay, you keep saying Super Nintendo, but I hate to say it, you're just wrong. I love you, but you're wrong. The Super Nintendo was great. God, we're gonna spend so much time on this topic next week. Which generation did you start out with, Jay? NES?
What?
Which
So my very first console was like the original Nintendo with the
Nintendo?
cartridge, like kind
Okay.
of like blow and push
Yep.
in, and
Yep.
half the time it didn't work.
Yep. I'm with you.
That was my very first one. My first handheld was like the original Game Boy. This was like the really weird thing about having my parents split at a really early age
Mm-hmm.
and being like homeless with my father, and then my mother who came from a very rich, wealthy family who wanted to make my dad feel like shit and bought me consoles and like handheld games. So it was like, yeah, we struggled, didn't have food all the time. But Jay had a Game Boy. So I don't know. Very weird.
Right. I'm putting some of the rundown. We will do it. We will do it next week. All right. With that, it's 9:37. We love you. Thank you for joining us tonight. Jay, say goodbye to the lovely people.
Goodbye, lovely people in the internets on the other side of the screen that I can't ever seem to touch.
Bye, OctoKitty. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you next week at 8 o'clock Pacific time.